Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We got a bunch of events popping off, so let's read them, and hopefully they will not crash my computer. The Duel. Filaret Drozdov has challenged Anton Golovin to a duel to the death. The aura surrounding the two figures is like something out of a romantic novel. Anton Golovin smiles. He's been rehearsing this moment before falling asleep. Filaret Drozdov, you are a foolish fool. Your insults cannot go unanswered. Pick a weapon of choice and we shall meet tomorrow. This guy's the head of the petite bourgeoisie. He's a Democrat. This guy's the head of the Orthodox Church. He's a traditionalist. Let them fight! Golovin died. So, it wasn't this guy. Let's see who's heading up the petite bourgeois now. A jingoist. Wonderful. Not that it matters. Alright, what else? I seem to have zoomed in very close. I seem to be looking very close at Kandahar. You get him, Kandahar. That's a pretty nice building. Is that a special building? It's just a nice building. Alright. Defections to the Caucasian Amate. The multinational nature of Shamil Dipshir's Imamate has proven irresistible to many of our subjects in Russian North Caucasus. Officers and landowners alike have reported numerous defections to the Imamate. The mistreatment of our military deserters by the Chechens kept many unreliable soldiers, especially the Poles, from running away. But if now they find out that Shamil gives freedom to deserters, then I'm afraid that the runs will increase. I would like to keep the soldiers from escaping by ordering the first captured deserters to be shot. Together with this, I've ordered all private commanders to aggravate supervision of unreliable soldiers, and report to me immediately about those who make an escape. Tighten security in the region. The Despot of Constantinople. Opposed to the arbitrary and illiberal rule of the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire, the petite bourgeoisie have fallen in with the Anti-Ottoman Association. To all those who cherish liberty, Ottoman Empire under the boot of that pernicious Sultan stands out as an example of the very worst excesses of despotism. In no country is the indomitable right of every soul to strive towards its own destiny obstructed as it is in the Ottoman Empire, and in no country is a greater threat found to our own liberty than in the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire must fall, for if it does not, we will fall in her place. Down with tyrants, down with the Ottoman Empire. Sometimes a firm hand is needed to govern well. In league with tyrants, -3 interest group approval. Yeah, I'll throw them in the Anti-Ottoman Association, that's fine. And then finally, a cause without a rebel. Though Alexander Savoyko is still fighting for his cause, no one is following him anymore. Despondent, Savoyko has started publicly remarking that he may give up his activism altogether. What's the point? Speakers, when we have any, speak to empty halls and empty chairs. There's no crowds, no banners. If anyone pays attention at all, they never understand anything we're preaching. What reason is there to stay here? We're all stuck doing nothing. He's an abolitionist. Perhaps he can find greener pastures elsewhere. He's exiled. Or no time for timidity. The movement needs drastic changes. This is the movement for tenant farmers. I think we're just going to have to leave this one be. He's got to go. We're going to keep serfdom for now. Alright, so really looking forward to having relations with Persia not be cold. That'll go down in another 100 days. Attitude of Orta Juj has worsened. But why? Orta Juj, we're doing so well. Everything is going so great with us. I'm exempting you from paying your fair share of your occupation cost. I'm just generally being nice to you as your master in Moscow. I feel like I cut my own pay to make you happy, Ortazuz, and I just can't imagine why you don't want me exploiting you. Humph. Humph, I say. Humph. Let's see. What does my market need? Someone wants coffee. I could have some coffee grown. Let's see. I can't. I need to take some Ottoman territory. Get myself some coffee. I need more tooling factories. Well, we'll have more tooling later. I'll have more tooling later once we've got... I've slowed down research of mechanical tools just a little bit by supporting Persia, but it's necessary because I want to keep Persia, reducing in liberty desire so that we can all be happy together. Oh, they're back to Midland. It's okay. I'll have less infamy soon. Oh, they're not actually back to Midland. They're just scaling down because their liberty desire is low. Usually use same thing, a little bit of a change rate scaling issue. All right. Greece, you want foreign investment rights? Sure. I would love that. I would love to. So nice little Warcraft 2 soundbite there for those who celebrate. Let's see. I can't believe America's mad at me. Stop it, America. What are you doing over there? Trying to be free. Stop it. No one likes that. Ooh. Muhammara has become loyal. Are you my subject? No, you're a subject of Persia. But you're loyal to us because we're a whole gang together. We're all friends here. Let me see. Oh, I can invest in Kandahar now, actually. Opium plantations. I'm gonna... Silk plantations. Oh, I have so many opportunities to invest in Kandahar. Excellent. Excellent. I can invest in iron mines in Kandahar if there's enough labor to work them. Alright. Caucasian supply convoy raided. A convoy dispatched to provide needed ammunition and supplies to our forces in Kuban has been ambushed by the forces of Circassia. In the struggle, much of its cargo was lost. By the time the relief force had arrived, the bodies had already begun to rot, men and horses entangled where they'd fallen, their belongings stripped and carried away by enterprising hands. As they lay there, the highway was the territory not of Russia nor of any man at all, for its subjects were maggots, and its sovereign the lord of the flies. Again, we're going to hold fast. I do not want to have any kind of situation down here where there's devastation, because that's going to really mess up the country down there. So part of why our finances are doing a lot better is because I integrated Saratov, and so I'm getting more and more tax revenue from there, and that's helping things out. Alright, so now that relations with Persia are only poor, let's take a look at how their liberty desire is continuing to go down. They got a little bit of change rate scaling, but it's going down 0.25 per week, which is nice. Let's go ahead and decrease Yuliju's autonomy. This is going to bring up the liberty desire of Kishiju's, of all of our other vassals, but it's got to be done. We're getting scaling reductions for a bunch of these countries anyway because they're below 50, so it's fine. Shazam. So that's going to put them up at 75. Shouldn't be an issue. And now they're green, just like we want them to be. So, Ortozhuz, we've got 2 weeks more of a truce. Kishiju's 25 more months. Pacify the Kazakh steppe. We've only got 28 months for the pacification of this steppe. Gosh, that's rough. We're going to get really close, though. Well, no, we need to get Samara and Shublyansk. So if it fails, we get the Kazakh revolts. I'm hoping that doesn't become a huge headache. Let me see. Oh, but if it fails, then... Wait, no. They need to expel Russian influence. So I think if we win this war, then we can win. And that'll be fine. That won't impact the great game whatsoever. Does Greece have any resources that I want to build up? Let's see. They've got iron mines, which I could build up. Have you got labor? A little bit. More in Attica. More in Attica for iron mines. But you don't have iron resources in Attica. So... we'll queue in a few levels of iron mines. Oh no, Peloponnese is low on infrastructure. I can't do too much there. Next time, Greece, next time. Successful incursion into the Caucasian Amate. An incursion we've launched into the territory claimed by the Caucasian Amate has succeeded, with several villages controlled by the mountaineers burnt to the ground and the enemy fleeing. In the evening, the soldiers entered a town nestled between two mountains, humble but prosperous, surrounded by fields of hardy crops. In the morning, they left behind nothing but charred black skeletons, surrounded by a desolate ring of ash. Let none survive our scrutiny? Oh boy, villages burnt. 7% mortality. 15 to... Ugh. Brutal. Or we've made them inclined enough to submit. Much less bad. I'm gonna do the second one. I think this is really extreme. I don't love burning down villages, no matter where they are. I'm not of the Kissinger school of foreign policy. I don't like just setting stuff on fire. Baltic Fleet is still working on getting these frigates hired. You know what? What if we increase military wages? Oh, that would actually be a significant cost for us. Let's not worry about that for now. I feel confident that they will eventually be able to hire those frigates, and then everything will be rad. But for the moment, we're just doing our best here. If it goes for another like year and they haven't fully hired, I'll just reduce the number of man of wars. It's not that big of a deal. All of these are slowly hiring. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, they're increasing. All right, so that should be fine. All right. This is still conflict burns at a slow pace. Hey, there's mechanical tools. Beautiful. So, oh, and we've got power of the purse now. So as we build up our munitions plants, soon we'll be able to actually... Am I silly or am I silly? Let's do the steel mills first. I think I want the steel mills first. Because getting the tools sorted out will make things easier. Border fortress raided. Foreign political lobby formed. Russian Empire Union is formed in the Grand Duchy of Finland. Oh, that's nice. Greek obligation expired. That's completely fine. Border fortress raided. One of our fortresses in the steppes of Kishi-Khorasmia has been raided by a group of Kazakh rebels under Kanasary Kasimuli. After capturing the fortress and scattering the garrison, the rebels have mercilessly razed the nearest Russian settlements. As the scout's horse sidled up to what had been the gate, he beheld what was left behind. A layer of ash still covered the ruin, deposited by the fire that had charred and blackened the timbers and earthworks that formed the walls. There had been no rain since the fortress had been burned, leaving the ash to preserve what was left. Where there had been a fortress, there was now a tomb. Where there had been a garrison, there was now only the enduring stench of smoke. The locals are solely responsible for this disaster. This increases their liberty desire. Or we must dedicate more resources to protecting our interests. This doesn't increase their liberty desire. We'll do the second one. Alright, so, Orta Juz we no longer have a truce with. So, let's take a look in diplomacy. We'll be able to reduce their liberty, autonomy pretty soon. And that's going to be, so they're losing 0.18 liberty desire per week. So that's in... Losing 0.2, that means losing about 10 a year. It's gonna be some time. It's gonna be some time. We're gonna need to fight the Kazakh rebellion, but I think we'll be able to fight the Kazakh rebellion without a problem. We've almost got rifling built, and that's gonna be nice. That's also gonna use our lovely steel that we're building up the capacity to produce at this time. It is going to be nice to be able to produce our own munitions, but I'm still going to need to import the necessary explosives. I think after logistics, I'm going to queue in intensive agriculture, because that's going to allow us to finally produce the necessary explosives in explosives factories, and that's going to mean we can have autarky in terms of our ammunition output, and that's really important. Alright. Improving relations with Ortajuz. Improving relations with Persia. Relations with Kandahar are still excellent. They are paying weak war operations to Kabul still. There's the rifling thing. So, do I want to change up my politics? I still don't have the capacity to, the bureaucratic capacity to do policing. Maybe we'll look into incorporating some more territory. Oh, Ottoman Empire sides with Oman against the British East India Company. No concern of mine whatsoever. All this territory is incorporated in the West, right? Not as much. Grodno is incorporated. Mazovia, Lublin, and Warsaw are unincorporated. Those are mostly Polish areas. What about Karelia? Karelians are discriminated. There's not that many of them. There's a big Russian population here. Maybe we'll incorporate Karelia. It's only 13 bureaucracy. Let's do it. What about Kola? A lot of Russian folks here, too. We'll incorporate it. We'll just go slow. We don't have to incorporate too much stuff too fast. I believe we're still incorporating Saratov, but we're nearly done. So that'll increase tax revenues, and that'll be nice. I think once this construction queue is done, once we've built these universities, then I'll finally let these government admins get built, and that'll also help with our financial situation. Hopefully the private sector will continue to increase the size of our paper mills to continue to increase the size of the government. Anti-French League demands action. The Anti-French League has requested that we dissolve our trade agreement with France. Successfully acting on the proposal will gain our government significant goodwill from the lobby. We do not presently have a pro-French lobby at this point. And to those who would refuse and prefer preserving the status quo, there was no hesitation. His response sounded well-rehearsed because it was. This was a proactive man, one who spent hours pacing his chambers and anticipating attacks to come. My reply would be that we should never have allowed them to become so close to us in the first place. A friendship built upon deceit is nothing at all, and the goodwill gained from it illusory. We will look into this, as lobby demand. This is not in our interests. We get -5. And again, this is the church and the intelligentsia. Well, the church isn't actually doing that much for us. 2% birth rate's not that much. No. No. It's fine. 2% birth rate is not that much. We're getting higher birth rate anyway due to our subjugation of women. Which, again, not something I sort of did out of it being a goal, but just something that kind of happened as a result of the way things went. I don't know. I feel like we're going to beat all the goals here, but just British prestige is going to make this real hard to do. That's okay. We'll get the Kazakh steppe pacified. We'll get Caucasia pacified, and then we'll work our way south. I can't get too aggressive right now on account of I've got some infamy still. But it would be nice to start subjugating states here in the in Central Asia. I could get going with that. Kandahar is feeling pleased. Now that our infamy is lower, things are going a little better, particularly with Persia. They're down to 33% liberty desire, so I'm feeling pretty confident overall in our ability to continue to go that way. Obligation for the Sikh Empire. You know what? Sikh Empire. Absolve. Not going to improve relations with them. They're a potential target for Kandahar. who are my puppets right now. France sides with Mahra against a Mahra peasant revolt. Oh, that's not Macron. That's somewhere else entirely. Down here. That's close. I was right over it. But anyway, I don't need to concern myself with that. That's a situation I can simply let be. So in another 13 months, the pacification of the steppes is going to flare out, and we're going to get a revolt of some kind. And we're going to see how that goes, I guess, because it's going to be... I don't think I have the capacity to get any of those countries all the way down to where they need to be for things to be right and solid. Can I even reduce Finland's autonomy? I can't. Because I don't have nationalism. Interesting. Well, I could definitely research nationalism. Let's see, we're looking at 22 months for logistics, so that'll be... And that'll be when we get scrappy with the Caucasian states here. Try to get all the everything we need. Relations with Persia are still bad, but in another half a year or so, they'll be manageable. Oh boy, we got a bunch of... Oh my goodness, look at all these events. Victoria 3, you're going buck wild with events. It's too many events. Dial it back. So please don't crash. Let's start with undeserved blame. Some Russian people are unfairly blaming the poor living standards in Kolyma on their Siberian neighbors. They say we've taken all the jobs, but we make it impossible for them to earn a fair wage. But we suffer just as much as them. We must all learn to live together, minus 5% authority, or ignore it, minus 1 standard of living for Siberian people into Kolyma. I don't want to reduce the tsars' authority, we'll ignore it.